Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Friday, October 24, 2025 and I'm Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Parth Joshi and we've got some exciting stories to discuss today.
And we have some really interesting stories. Property Finder has invested in stake. They've taken a stake in stake, favorite line for me today, to boost MENA's real estate tech ecosystem. We'll talk a lot about it, how fractional property ownership is becoming big. Parth keeps asking me about it sometimes, like, how do you invest in property? And I'm like, no, you can't. You need millions to get thousands out of it. But this is one of the things that has become very popular in the region. So we'll discuss that. Saudi Arabia is to host the new ATP Masters 1000 tournament in a landmark expansion backed by PIF and their sports investment arm, Surge Sports. We're going to talk how it makes business sense because it's very purely sports, but business sense is there. And then Sequoia COO has resigned over Islamophobia row after partner Sean Maguire's controversial tweet. We covered it on the show, we covered it on the feed when Sean Maguire questioned Mamdani, who is running for the New York mayor position. He tweeted about him saying very weird things. We'll tell you all about it, that why the CEO resigned 2 months ago, but now all the reports by Financial Times and a lot of other publications are saying that it was because of Islamophobia within Sequoia that she resigned, not just because she was moving on. But before that, let's ask Parth, because he was at Sharjah Investment Forum, and I want to know what happened on day two, because it was buzzing with a lot of celebrities. Patrice Evra was there, former Manchester United footballer, now an investor in auto.
Patrice Evra was there, Edgar Davids was there, two footballers. We also had Amir Khan, the former professional boxer, over there. And it was, obviously, we also had big names, such as, it cannot be an investment event without Mohammed Al-Abbar, His Excellency. So, the event was...
What was the feel of the event? Like, was it as crowded as Jitex? No, or was it very nice and soft and very...
in a good way, it was not. In a good way, it was not as crowded. But, like, there were a lot of people had come for the conference that was happening within... It was taking place in Sharjah in the Al Jawahir Reception and Convention Center. People were there for the conferences. The CEO of Shahrukh was one of the first people to talk in that conference, and then obviously followed by other big names, such as like Chris Faye sitting with His Excellency
Mohammed
Al-Abbar. In terms of the event outside the conference, it was quite nice. It was like a bit toned down, again, in a good way. Lots of businesses. We had the likes of National Paints, Arada, even the government of Dubai, government of Sharjah, Shahrukh. All these companies were lined up one by one. People were there for potential investments. And one thing I really liked about the entire event was after all the conferences were done, they had this thing called Seal the Deal, which is basically a student-led and a faculty-led startup competition. So it was, in a way, like Shark Tank, but a bit like friendly. with like a bit less pressure. It was basically, they had all these investors, and His Excellency Al-Abbar was sitting in the crowd because this was right after his entire like speech and stuff. So he was sitting in the crowd.
What an opportunity if you could pitch something which he likes, right?
And so they had students coming, and the second person who was there from one of the companies, he had a very good idea as to how to make wudu more accessible after like your prayers and all that. And he had this very good idea that, old people have difficulties in this.
So wudu is basically something that you do before you pray. And it's a ritual where you wash your hands, wash your mouth, wash your nose, then you wash your hands till here, wash your feet. It has like 6-7 steps which you do before you pray in Islam.
And he had this idea, and he had this like a concept that was obviously being presented. And the investors loved it, and even His Excellency Mohammed Al-Abbar was sitting there. And he himself was like, he himself said, I would like to blend something from my end in this deal. And it was just so exciting to see these new ideas. There was someone talking about like Google AI and how you can just take a picture of yourself, and with that, the AI can detect what skin condition you have. If it's like acne or whatever it is, it's called like Google Der, like dermatology. So it was quite nice. And also, we had faculty also leading these startups. It was just nice to watch it. They were also confident. The ideas were really nice, something
Yeah.
very innovative. Especially
Anything interesting that you found? We did an interview with Amir Khan. We'll publish that in the whole reel. Patrice Evra was on stage. He said something interesting. Al-Abbar said, but he was there. So from the horse's mouth himself, what was the most interesting thing that you heard there?
in the speech.
Yeah. In anything, anyone said
So
something
obviously
interesting, you're like this.
Al-Abbar's speech was there, and he basically he got a bit into the investing world. He
Yeah.
said that when he was younger, he kind of like wasted time with like the cake shops and all these
Yeah.
sort of things, and then he was like, I wanted to go into this. He also said why he opened up Noon. So he was like, oh, my company was making 4-5 billion, but like I was not happy. And then he said that we have a smartphone, and what does this do? Like we need something to do with this. And then the idea for Noon slowly came from that. And
Nice.
because he had that drive that I want to do something with my smartphone, he's like I'm an old person. Like I know how to use my phone. Like I can scroll,
Yeah.
but what more than that? And he
Nice.
also spoke about competition. That obviously other countries are trying to catch up with the UAE, but he said the work culture in this country is extremely beautiful.
Yeah.
We care for the way we do the work. And one more thing that he spoke was just giving advice. We will publish all the videos.
Yeah.
He gave advice for young investors and like what they should be doing. Not in a way like you instruct someone like you should be doing this, but in a way you're just advising someone that if you do this,
Yeah.
chances are you will probably do much better than a lot of the people out
Yeah.
there.
And talking about Shuruk, they were one of the partners which were part of the organizing team of Sharjah Investment Forum. It was held in combination with World Investment Conference also, so they had the same agenda, same theme, and it for the first time it happened together. And for Shuruk, we covered them a lot. We cover them in terms of they have invested in this or that, but they have a very interesting portfolio. I know a lot of people who talk about VCs and funds and companies which invest in startups. They talk about A16Z, that's Andreessen Horowitz. These are some of the biggest names. But I think Shuruk is one of the leading investor VC in this region. They have Pure Harvest. Pure Harvest, the guy who makes tomatoes in desert. He wants to build the first camelicorn. They've invested in that. They've invested in Tamara. Tamara is the first tech unicorn in Saudi Arabia. It was actually the first ever unicorn from Saudi Arabia. They've invested in Trucker. A lot of people don't know about it, but it's a logistics service where trucks are basically the idea. They've invested in Lean Technologies. Lean Technologies is Saudi Arabia's one of the newest unicorns, and they're very famous. They basically help people make all their payments, SMEs make their payments accessible, easier to do online. Some of the other, Sarva, one of the investments app where you can trade.
His favorite.
Yeah, my favorite. Not in terms of investing and the fees that they charge. It's not a lot, but it's a little more than a lot of platforms. I just love Sarva for the ease of it. It has such a nice UI that even a basic person who doesn't know anything about investment can go on Sarva and understand, okay, this is what I put in, this is the money I make. It's simple to look at.
It's so simple that
Yeah. I've tried to teach all of them.
When I did not know anything in investment, Majid just sat with me for like 5-10 minutes and he was like, okay, this is what you do.
Yeah.
And now I know like, okay, this is exactly like, now I have the basic investing ideas because of him and because of Sarwa's.
Even Bilal, who is our transport manager and all that, he invested his first $50 and he was like, what do I buy? And I was like, I'm not telling you what to buy because no financial advice, because if you lose that $50, you'll most probably be angry with me. But I was like, just play with it. Just try, because I won't say it's one of the biggest jobs that you can do, but for passive income, it's great. I was just reading actually LinkedIn post by one of the ladies here. Very interesting post, Sara Al-Tarkech. She is financial freedom advocate, Money Simplified, basically. She's a LinkedIn influencer. But she says a very interesting thing, and I'll read it for you before we move on to our main stories of the day. She says, can 150 KD, that is Kuwaiti dinar, a month really build wealth? And she says, I just take 150 KD, invest it, and Sarva has a robo platform where you can automatically, it invests for you. You don't have to do anything. You literally put in the money. And she put a picture of her Sarva account. So she, in the last year, from August 2024 to October 13, she invested $7,344, and she's gotten returns of 12.99%. Basically, on her $7,500, she's made $844. Her argument is that if I kept this money, 7,344, in a bank, even after a year, it would be 7,344. And maybe if she put it in an interest account, savings account, she would get 4 or 5% over it.
Grow a bit.
Yeah, so it would be like $300 or $400 that she'll get, and then you have problems with interest if you're a Muslim, so you don't want that. Instead, she invested on Sarva, robo-advisory, not even her actively looking at trades and doing trades, and she made $800. So literally 7,344 is now 810 something. So your money does the work when you're sleeping. That's the idea. Whenever you look at people who are like giants of investing, they'll say, do something where you're sleeping and your money makes money. So your money should make money.
It's like the definition of a passive income.
Yeah, the most easiest way is this. I'm not like promoting Sarba here. I'm just saying use any platform. There's Thunder, it's newly here. It's an Egyptian-based platform. You can use that. They do the KYC. It's just you put your Emirates ID and all this stuff. I keep teaching this because it's a very nice way. And if you're young and if you have like an idea that I save this much money every month, these platforms are there for you. There's Equity, there's Baraka, there's eToro. I have a problem with eToro, but people use it. There's Binance if you want to go into crypto. So all these platforms are there. Just experiment with it. It's a very nice idea for youngsters. I don't tell the older people to do it because I am old, so I think we have these restrictions inside us where we're like, no, what is this new thing? But I still do it because part of my job is looking at trading and all that, what's happening in the world. But a lot of people don't. But to youngsters, very nice idea. Everyone should do it.
You should do it.
Yeah, and talking about investments, this is trading, this is equities, this is crypto. Another platform which helps you buy fractional property, that is Stake. So Property Finder, a Dubai-based company. Everyone knows Property Finder. If you're in Dubai, you must have visited their website once to look at properties. They are MENA's largest property platform, according to them. Property Finder, they are MENA's largest property platform, and they've announced a strategic investment in Stake, one of the Middle East's fastest growing digital real estate investment platform. The move reinforces Property Finder's commitment to nurturing innovation and supporting technology-driven growth across region's property sector.
So basically, Stake enables users to invest in fractional property ownership and private real estate funds starting from as little as 500 dirhams. The platform, which won PropTech of the Year at the 2024 Property Finder Awards, has quickly emerged as a leading in making property investment more accessible, transparent, and liquid.
And commenting on the investment, Property Finder's founder and CEO Michael Lahiani said the company has witnessed Stake's evolution from a promising startup to a key player in the region's PropTech ecosystem. He emphasized that both companies share values of trust, transparency, and innovation, pillars that drive the transformation of the real estate landscape.
So, Stake's co-founder and co-CEO Rami Tabara welcomed the partnership, calling Property Finders backing a strong endorsement of Stake's mission to democratize real estate investing. He said the collaboration creates powerful alignment to accelerate innovation for investors, sellers, and homeowners across the region.
And lastly, the investment underscores Property Finder's broader ambition to back high-growth innovators and foster a more data-driven, efficient, and transparent property market. The company continues to explore similar opportunities that will redefine how people live, search, and invest in real estate across MENA. I won't be surprised if now you go to Property Finder and soon enough you'll see Stake integrated into it, and you can buy. Usually you go to Property Finder to find an apartment, to buy or rent. That's the main purpose right now. But I think most probably soon enough they'll incorporate Stake's whatever system they have into Property Finder, and Property Finder will have their systems on Stake. So now maybe on Property Finder you can buy fractional property.
Maybe they'll have something where if you win money on Stake, you can buy the house from that money.
And 8,500 is like the minimum where you can start from. Obviously you can go into thousands also.
Yes.
The idea is very simple. Just consider a room, this studio. They break it into parts. So this room can be 1,000 parts and one part can be this much price. So you buy the fraction of that. You buy that corner or you buy that corner. It's not like that. People, just to make it simpler for you, it's like you buy one square inch. But the main idea is that as soon as the value of the property goes up, the value of the studio, for example, is $100. If it goes up to $150, every person, however many parts they own, they will eventually get some profit over it.
Yes.
So it's not a big money maker, but again, we're talking about passive income.
It is something
So,
that's better than
yeah.
nothing.
And another company which is doing this is Pripco. Pripco is Amira Sajwani, the Mark MD's startup. She works at the Mark, her father's company, but she's also has a startup, Pripco. Pripco has Pripco Blocks,
Yes.
where you can buy fractional properties. And then Pripco has Pripco Mint, which is with DLD, in partnership with DLD, where you can buy fractional property, but on the blockchain. So it's nearly similar, but a little different. But you can do that using that also. There's a lot of players in the world who do this. I think Love in Dubai 2 or 3 months ago, we also did a partnership ad, sponsored post for some of the other players. It's a very nice idea. All these ideas, the main idea is that people want passive income now.
Yeah.
One income is good, but whatever they're saving, if you just keep it as cash or in banks, it doesn't make you money. So people
Because
are going
it's,
into all
it's
this.
basically like it's a long-term investment. It's like
Yeah.
you keep that money and you forget about it.
Yeah.
You just put it there. You don't talk about it.
Yeah.
It's not much. You'll not be earning thousands per day, let's say, but
Yeah.
it is still.
But I think in Dubai it makes sense also because
Yes.
the property market is booming.
Yes.
So it's not like that if you put money into fractional ownership in Dubai, it will not go up or it will stay stagnant. The property market is going up. Yesterday, Mr. Al-Abbar, again, he's been in the news in the last 3-4 days. There was one comment on one of our posts like, why are you doing so many Al-Abbar posts? Because he is there.
He
He's
is
speaking
there,
so
he
much. We can't avoid him. And when he says something, it means. I remember the Reuters Next event that happened 2 days ago. The lady started with the question. She made a very nice statement. She was like, Dubai and its prosperity is very rightly linked to Imar's success and prosperity. And I was like, yeah, makes sense because you look at Dubai, you look at some of the most famous areas,
you look at
you'll
the
see
most,
Imar.
You look at the most iconic building. in the
Yeah,
world.
you'll see Imar. So actually, Imar had played a very major role. So yeah, it makes sense to put
And
Mr.
he
Al-Abbar on
spoke about
feed.
this exact thing yesterday
Yeah.
as well. He was asked that you are behind one of, if not the most iconic building in the world.
Burj Khalifa.
Yeah. So how do you feel? What are your thoughts on that? And he spoke a lot about that. So
yeah.
he is in the news, but like it makes sense for him to be in the news at this time, because when you talk about property, he will be one of the first names on your list.
Yeah, he will be there. Then we have so many other players. Bengati has been the new cool guy in the property market, to be honest. Mohammed Bengati is the chairman of Bengati Holdings. They do a lot of branded residences, but they also build their own normal Bengati towers also. So he is the new cool guy. But we've had Shobha, we've had Damak, Hussain Sajwani, then his daughter Amira Sajwani, son Ali Sajwani. They've been there. So there's like 4 or 5 big giants who sit here. There's Shobha, there's more.
Danube.
But Danube is there, Rizwan Sajan is there, the whole Sajan family is into building homes, giving you furniture, taps. They have like diversified.
They
from
also
just
have
building.
the most famous payment plan, which everyone
Yeah,
the 1% payment plan.
So all of these guys, to be honest, have made Dubai to be. It's like without their contribution, Dubai won't have been Dubai. Obviously, the political will is there. The rulers, they see like 100 years
But
in the future and then plan everything.
The real estate sector would not be as growing. And again, Al-Abbar spoke on this
Yeah.
yesterday. He said that the real estate sector in Dubai, like, yes, it is massive, but it makes 12% of
Yeah.
the economic
GDP, total GDP, but there's
So
tourism. there's so many.
imagine without all these massive players in the market, like even reaching that 12% mark might have been like a long shot.
Yeah, I think last year the UAE as a whole they made $758 billion in total in terms of revenue, a country's revenue, and if you like break it down into 7 Emirates, 100 billion per Emirates. I think Abu Dhabi, Dubai would have been the biggest contributor. So give them 150. Take 12% from Dubai's part. They at least made $30-40 billion for Dubai. All these developers. And then you go to Abu Dhabi, you have Al Dar, which is government owned, which is the biggest player in Abu Dhabi. They would have made 20-30 billion. They're just contributing so much to the overall economy that they're the big players. And then thankfully, I would say this like 1 million times, forever till I'm here. I think Rich has a time frame in mind. I am here for 35 years. He said it on the show that after 35 years, maybe the Provident and all that, we discussed something very interesting. But even after like 30 years, I would always say all comes from the willingness of the leadership to let the private companies, to let people who are ambitious build it. Give them favorable business environments, give them tax breaks, don't tax them to the death that they don't want to build here. So it's just the environment that the leadership created that everyone is prospering.
It's the openness and the environment. It's also because you see like Dubai is like government building, like Al Wasl itself.
Yeah.
The standard that they have, the maintenance that they have to do. Obviously, the other real estate sectors will see that, and the players in the market will be like, okay, like
we have to maintain
we have
this
to
quality.
match that level or more.
Oh, there's Azizi also. Like, how can I forget? They have a whole line of buildings in front of my house. There's Azizi also. So there's so many names in the market. But let's move on to the neighbors now, Saudi Arabia. They're also investing in property, but they are investing very heavily into entertainment and sports. I think the last time Parth was on the show, we discussed something entertainment-wise also. Yeah, it was some news that we covered. But today, in a historic move for global tennis, the ATP Tour and Surge Sports Investments, a company owned by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, basically their sports investing arm, have announced the launch of brand new ATP Masters 1000 tournament to be held in Saudi Arabia. It marks the first ever expansion of the Masters 1000 category in the ATP's 35-year history. And they chose Saudi Arabia for it, with the event set to debut as early of 2028.
So this edition makes Saudi Arabia the 10th host of an ATP Masters 1000 event, joining the prestigious lineup that includes Indian Wells, Miami, Monte Carlo, Madrid, Rome, Toronto or Montreal, Cincinnati, Shanghai and Paris. The tournament aims to bring the sport's top talent to an unforgettable fan experience to the kingdom.
And ATP chairman Andrea Gaudenzi called the announcement a proud moment, years in the making, praising Saudi Arabia's commitment to growing tennis at every level. He said PIF's ambition and partnership are driving record transformation across the tour, the ATP Tour, helping to strengthen its premium events and global reach.
So Surge Sports chairman Bandar bin Morgan said hosting the event underscores Saudi Arabia's rise as a major global sports destination, while CEO Danny Townsend described it as a defining moment that showcases the kingdom's growing influence in world sport. Both emphasized the goal of creating a tournament with lasting legacy and grassroots impact.
Have you seen Danny Townsend play?
No.
No, I have. Danny Townsend was one of the, he was not a legend, but he was a great player. He played for a long time, but he is the head. So just look at the hierarchy in Surge Sports Investment, that they actually brought a footballer to be the CEO. Shows you the initiative that they've taken. The new Masters event, however, expands on PIF's growing sports portfolio, which includes investments across football. If you talk about football, Newcastle United is the biggest example that they've invested in. They've invested in golf through Live Golf, which is opposite a completely different tour apart from the PGA Tour. A lot of fights there also, but PGA Tour and Live Golf are working to merge both of them. Under the Biden administration in the US, it didn't go anywhere, but Mr. Trump, who is a fan of Middle East, is trying to solve that problem and merge them into one big tour. So that's happening. Esports, we know they hosted the Esports World Cup last year. Then this year they also hosted the Esports World Cup. They've announced a nation's Esports World Cup. So now you'll see Germany playing blah country in the Esports Nations World Cup. So that's there. They've invested in motorsports. You know that they
have the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think they have the Grand Prix, Jeddah Grand Prix, but
and they are also building another one which will have like a completely different track.
Oh, nice.
So it will go like all the way.
Yeah.
I think it's like the highest track something. It will go all the way like this.
Oh, wow.
And that's what they're trying to be.
Yeah, but they sponsor a lot of teams also. I think the PIF logo, Aramco sponsors one of the teams. Completely forgot the name of the team. I think it's McLaren. But they sponsor that. So they are heavily invested in that. So with Riyadh hosting the WTA finals since 2024 and Jeddah the next gen ATP finals since 2023, Saudi Arabia's latest tennis milestone cements its position as a central hub for global sporting excellence. And the main part of this story is, recently we saw the Six King Slam happen. It was $6 million purse prize. Yannick Sinner be it Carlos Alcaraz, the Spaniard, the new Nadal as they're calling him. He's right-handed, but still, yeah, I think there can never be a Federer, Nadal, or
They
Djokovic
won't.
ever.
I think it's the same for any sport where there will
Yeah.
not be another
Yeah.
X or Y player.
Yeah, there can never be a Ronaldo or
There can
Messi.
never be a Messi. Yeah.
Yeah, Ronaldo or Messi. It's not Messi. Let's not turn this into a sports show. But to be honest, business-wise, it also makes sense because there's a very big chunk of tourism that's called sports tourism, and Saudi Arabia is attracting them through different events. And this event itself will attract a lot of sports tourism. So your hospitality industry gets a lot of money. Your tourism industry gets a lot of money because people come,
Yes.
they visit places, they spend in the country. So it's just an overall idea where you see Saudi Vision 2030, you can't mention Saudi Arabia without mentioning it. It all makes sense that we've seen Riyadh season hosting boxing matches, some of the greatest players coming. 2026, 27, they have the WrestleMania coming,
Yes.
WWE. Everywhere you see, they're trying to bring people to Saudi Arabia. And then they're building NEOM and the seafronts and the Red Sea Global part where they have multiple brands of hotels coming. So they're building all that infrastructure, then they're doing all these events. So
Yes.
people come, spread out, enjoy Saudi Arabia as much as they can. There's so much happening in Saudi Arabia, it's nearly impossible to know what's happening.
They also had a very brilliant ad when it came to
Oh, yeah.
Saudi tourism that yes.
Recently, right? On
yes.
Saudi National Day, I think.
Yeah, yeah, we have deserts, we have this and we
Yeah.
have that, and then they just showed like how they were just enjoying within like their own home and they tried to
Yeah.
build everything, and it was just so beautiful. to
It
watch.
started with this guy sitting and saying, "Oh, do you think we have oil wells in the backyard?" And then there is actually an oil well in the backyard. But they play around with it a lot, and then they're like, "Yeah, we do have oil, but it doesn't mean we have it in our backyard. It's national
Like
level
we do
oil."
have sand, but that doesn't mean we only stay in sand.
Yeah.
Like
So it's very interesting what they're doing. But I think 10 years on, when Parth is my age and I'm someone else's age and I'm older, we will see completely new Saudi Arabia. We've seen it since 2015. How many years? 10 years we've seen Saudi completely transform under Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. You don't see it as a Saudi that you knew 20 years ago. So yeah, this is happening. So after a lot of constructive talk, passive incomes, and this happening, and the ATP 1000 coming to Saudi Arabia, we come to a controversy, and we need to discuss this because we discussed it a lot in detail when in June this happened. So Silicon Valley venture capital giant Sequoia Capital, they have invested in literally everything that you can say. So just to understand the magnitude of them, you say Instagram, you say this, you name it, they've invested in it. They've invested in SpaceX also, Elon Musk's venture. So they're facing internal turmoil after a public controversy involving partner Sean Maguire's tweet about New York political candidate Zohran Mamdani, a post widely criticized as Islamophobic. The fallout has led to the resignation of Sequoia's chief operating officer, Sumaya Balbale, a practicing Muslim. She's Indian, by the way. I saw her parents immigrated to America, and she's a practicing Muslim. And she is one of the firm's most senior female executives.
So Maguire's tweet accused Mamdani of coming from a culture that lies about everything if it advances his Islamist agenda. The remarks sparked backlash across the tech community, with over 1,000 founders and investors signing an open letter demanding disciplinary action. The controversy also risks straining relations with sovereign wealth funds from Muslim-majority countries, key limited partners in Sequoia's global funds.
And Balbale, who spent 5 years at the firm, cited the incident as the direct reason for her departure. This was reported by Financial Times. In her private circles, she told people that she did that because of that. And reportedly, she described the internal atmosphere at Sequoia Capital as Islamophobic. Her resignation has renewed debate within the venture capital industry about accountability and inclusion at top investment firms in the world.
So Sequoia's leadership, led by managing partner Rolf Bosa, has declined to sanction Maguire, invoking the firm's institutional neutrality policy, which allows employees to express political opinions without corporate interference. Bosa privately addressed staff but made no public statement.
Yeah, and Maguire, he went on a spree after that tweet, and this, so many founders signing that whole open letter to Sequoia Capital that they should ask him to say sorry, which he didn't. And instead, he went on another tangent and started explaining what an Islamist is and what he considers a Muslim.
He doubled down.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, why would you it's like try to separate Islam and Muslim? Muslim is a person who practices Islam. It's very simple. So, but he tried to defend himself, but he also later tried to clarify that that's what the next part is about, that his criticism was aimed at Islamism. That's the religion we follow. What are you saying? But okay, and not Islam, but critics say his language perpetuated prejudice, which is very clear in Silicon Valley. We've seen Replit founder Amjad Masad talk about it extensively. He was recently on the A16Z podcast, the Anderson Horowitz podcast. Rich shared with it with me. I'll listen to it. We'll most probably do a story about it. But he is like one of the biggest guys we follow at Smashi Business to see what's happening in Silicon Valley, because Replit is based in Silicon Valley. I remember his Tucker Carlson interview. Always mix his name, me and Roy. Tucker Carlson interview, he said that Palestinians, Jordanians, a lot of Arab founders, they don't want to tell their nationality in the Silicon Valley because they face so much prejudice. Yeah. People don't want to invest in them. Even if they have the greatest idea in the world, people will be like, no.
Just from their background.
Yeah, just from their background, even if they have a great idea. So that was it. Then I listened to the Anderson Horowitz podcast. Let's see, maybe there's something very interesting there. But the firm's inaction is reportedly linked to Macquire's status as a top performer, credited with generating $4 billion in return for the firm. So they're not taking action because the guy is making money for them. Yeah. They don't care about making anyone angry. They don't care about anything.
As long as the money comes in,
Yeah, that's the point. And that puts a lot of responsibility. We at Smashi Business, we cover a lot of corporate stuff where we talk about the genocide in Gaza and the companies involved in it, and the UN report which named 300 companies globally which were directly or indirectly part of the genocide in Gaza. We talk about it a lot. Why? Because that's facts. And this story is particularly important because it's one of the biggest companies in the world, Sequoia Capital. And if a COO at such a senior position with so much experience is resigning because she, in her private cycles, reportedly said that it's because of Islamophobia, then you can't even imagine what's happening in other companies.
Yeah.
It gives you a glimpse, right?
And she said like the work culture there itself is like that. So it must have been going on for a very long time for her to then be like, okay.
And I think Sean Maguire's tweet would be the breaking point where she was
like,
it
was a straw that broke.
Yeah. Wrapping up and leaving. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye. But it's changing. It's changing because now Middle East is the hub for capital. Abu Dhabi is the capital of capital. Saudi Arabia is the next, I would not say Las Vegas, but it's the next big city, big country where you would go for tourism and everything, for sports events. The whole Middle East is transforming into this giant powerhouse. So I think forcefully, unforcefully, these people will have to change their opinions. Yes. One, because they need the sovereign wealth fund money and the money that is accumulating in this region right now. And two, if they don't, they'll miss out on a piece.
They'll be left there. They'll be left behind.
So
massively.
I think it will have to change. There is no other option for them. Recently, we saw Perplexity, the Claude CEO, saying something about these countries having dictators and this and that, and very weird, rash comments. And then he came and raised money from QIA, Qatar Investment Authority. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you? If you think they have the money, don't go out and give these statements. Or that was an internal memo that was reported by Wired. But again, even in internal communication, you shouldn't be saying this because people now, the workers now, employees now, they're very active. They see these things, they share it with someone.
It's not about sharing all. It's just like one person's thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, it all stems down to that. Yeah. It's just the way your belief is and what you think about other people and their beliefs. Yeah, it's messed up in many ways.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, Parth.
Thank you.
And this is your part.
So that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Smashi Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels at Smashi Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
And today, the second edition of our Smashi Crypto newsletter is going out. We published the first one We'll publish the second one. I'll try to put the links everywhere on our Smashi Business channel. So if you want to know about the world of crypto, Bitcoin, blockchain, all the things that are happening in that world, and with the angle of Arab world, leading with the Arab world, leading with Dubai, obviously, it's becoming a hub for crypto. You can subscribe to it. Just follow us on all our social channels. I turned it into a tongue twister, but this has been a Smashi Business show, Smashi Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. A big shout out to our more than 2 million listeners across all the platforms. You make this possible. If you comment and if you forgot to take your name, I was looking at the comments, no one commented, but you can comment. You can say your piece and we will take your comments, your feedback from all our lives, wherever you're watching or listening. We'll take them and incorporate in our show. Have a great, great, great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
See you.